and Applebee's both promoting it.
Yeah.
The comments on it are so funny.
They're
Because it's like,
mean.
we're like, Mary, 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 Mary. But then, like, it's not the mean ones that are funny.
Oh,
It's
those
the
are
ones-
the ones I was focusing on.
Well, yeah. But then the people just like, I went to Applebee's in 1997, and they didn't get me a refill in time, and I never, ever went back.
There is a lot of that.
That's all
yeah.
it took?
Dude, people are so petty about things like that.
But it's not even petty. It's just...
That's petty.
But life is inconvenience.
Right, but they don't want to be inconvenienced.
Well,
so
none
they
of
go-
us do,
They go,
but-
well, I had one minor bad experience
Wow.
there, and that's that for me.
So some people pull the trigger fast.
Mhm.
One strike and you're out.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to restaurants, and we've talked about this, I think you got to give them a couple of chances. Because you can get anybody on a bad night. Now, if you're going to like a chain, it's all kind of mass produced anyway. So if it's bad one time, it's probably bad another time. But there's all variations.
And there's some people that they just love to complain.
And that
because
too. But if
they want to complain because they go, oh, when I complain, they give me stuff. And if you've ever been with somebody that's like that, I cannot be friends with them. I can't, like, I've had
You mean
people,
they put on social media so that the brand hits them up and
they'll
goes, hey.
they'll either do that. Like, and there's people that, like, have legit gripes. I'm not talking about someone every time they go to a restaurant, they complain while they're at the restaurant.
My
They'll
aunt was
complain
like
after.
that.
Yeah, and it's just
There
like
was nothing was ever
can
right.
be. Yeah, and you're just like, no, not going out with you anymore.
Because they were hard to please or they were specifically trying to get stuff?
Because they're trying to get stuff.
They're a schnurr. Yeah, okay. I didn't like the New England clam chowder. I ordered Manhattan clam chowder, and they brought me New England. Well, especially if your complaint is because you didn't get a refill fast enough. That's the waiter or waitress, not the establishment.
Also, maybe you just drank the drink way too fast.
Oh, those Dollaritas go down easy.
Oh, slow down on the Diet Coke.
Mostly water.
Full or easy on the Pepsi.
Yeah. Hey, listen, there is great news. Speaking of drinking, there is great news if you are a drunk teacher. We talked about this case a while ago. People called police to report that there was a woman who was a teacher at an elementary school in California who had driven drunk to her job and was teaching the second grade. Is a 57-year-old white lady. And she had a blood alcohol level of 0.20.
Pooh.
And she was arrested for driving under the influence and child endangerment. But they dropped all the charges. Basically what amounts to a pile of technicalities. They said that, prosecutors are never going to bring a case that they don't, reasonably believe that they can win because it's a waste of time and resources. And they said that they couldn't determine whether she actually drove drunk or got hammered when she got to school.
Well, that's true.
That's where we are now, by the way, in the education system. Well, did she drink at home and then drive to school, or did she have a bottle of Jack in her desk teaching second graders? And then they said the child endangerment charge didn't hold either because they had no information indicating that the kids were in any kind of trouble or that... So they were like, well, we don't know where. All we know is that she was drunk at school. 0.20. A 57-year-old woman. In the morning, by the way. And they said, obviously, it's highly inappropriate, but it is not illegal to teach while intoxicated. Now, I don't know if this is
Is that technically public, though? Like a public intox?
Well, I thought maybe this was more of a California thing and maybe not a national thing. Some states can really vary with their blue laws, but I don't know. While it's inappropriate to teach intoxicated, it is unfortunately not illegal. Now, I assume that the teacher probably lost her job, but she's not going to go to jail because they had... Is that the one we played the video and they asked the lady, they brought her in?
Yeah, and she was...
And they deposed her?
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, did you...
She's got her big drink with her.
Yeah. Yeah. California's legal limit is 0.08. What's the limit in Ohio? Is
I
it
think it's
0.08?
0.08.
0.08. Yeah, they brought her in and Yuba City.
Yuba.
Isn't that a movie with Allison Janney? Big Doings in Yuba City or something?
I'm not all that up to date on
Allison Janney's filmography.
Yeah.
Gosh, she's a TV reporter. Breaking news in Yuba County is what I was thinking. Anyway, that's now again, I don't know. Look into it. If you are an educator and a part or full-time drunk, look into what the law is in Ohio, because you can't necessarily just take this and run with it. This might be a California thing. And so while it is still inappropriate yet not illegal to do this, you're going to want to find out what the sitch is here in the Buckeye State. So after a big, long investigation, that woman is not going to face any charges because I don't know why. It feels like people have caught a whole bunch of charges for less than that when it comes to little kids. You know, they'll fire your ass if you try to talk to your second grade class about a kid that has two dads.
Well, that's Florida.
Well, that's a lot more than Florida. I mean, Florida's the one that gets all the attention. There's a hell of a lot of states that have that on the books. They'll fire a teacher for even talking about gay people existing to little kids. Children who might have, by the way, gay parents. We talked about Joey Chestnut yesterday on the show. Stansbury and I were talking about before his show was over. And that door might not be closed to him because he said he found out on social media that he wasn't being allowed into the Nathans thing, which probably isn't true. It's probably just PR. You got to know if you're pimping another brand, it's probably not going to end well. But the Nathans people, they really want to be in the Joey Chestnut business. Because who else do you have? There's no number two.
Yeah.
For a while, it was him and Kobayashi.
Yeah. He's retired, so it's just like...
You had the yin and the yang, literally. And now Kobayashi's gone, I don't know that they can stand to lose a Joey Chestnut. He said he was...
Caitlin Clark. See what you can do.
He said he was gutted to find out. He was posting on Twitter that he was gutted to learn from the media that after 19 years, he had been banned from the competition. I love that Major League Eating, because they really want him back. Joey Chestnut is an American hero. That's got to make people feel good.
Hero?
Just days after D-Day.
Mm-hmm.
Joey Chestnut is an American hero.
What did he do?
He ate a lot of food.
America.
That takes care of the American part, not the hero part.
Did he do it to save other people from eating it and poisoning themselves?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. This was not some kind of charity situation or anyway, they offered him a lot of money. Sign a contract with Nathan's, and he turned it down. Something like 1.2 mil over 4 years or something like that. And he turned it down because he signed a deal with Impossible Foods to pitch that brand. But Nathan's goes, hey, the door is still open. We'd love to have him back. Unfortunately, Joey and his managers have prioritized a new partnership with a different hot dog brand. So now they got to be on the lookout. I don't even know who's directly behind Joey Chestnut in the competitive eating sphere.
I think it's
Major League Eating.
I think it's a pretty big gap.
I mean, I thought there had been a couple of up-and-comers over the last few years, but they were women. That's what that sport needs. Because a lot of times these people are not, they're skinny. They're just people who are genetically somehow predisposed. And I know they have to train. Mm-hmm. Imagine that. Oh, I train. There's never a hot dog off season. But when they talk to these people, they go, what do you do? And they go, well, you got to really stretch your stomach out and you got to work on your esophagus and all kind of stuff. But some people are just genetically predisposed to be really good at this. And every so often, you'll see some just super skinny, shredded girl who comes in and murders these competitions.
There's a girl that I'll run across videos of her on Instagram where she's just doing these challenges, and they're like I think she was at a Buffalo Wild Wings, and it was boneless wing day, and they're like, "What's the record here?" And they're like 34, and she did 68 or something like that.
Okay,
just like a little girl.
An Asian girl named Miki Sudo is the #1 ranked female competitive eater. And again, these aren't big people. So they've got something going on where they, obviously if you're thin, you can eat more. And, if you're already big, that restricts your stomach's ability to expand. Yeah, you can't. It's got nowhere to go.
I was, I don't know if someone told me this or we were talking about like competitive eating, and they said one of the things that a lot of these people eat is grapes, because apparently grapes, because of all the water in them, expand your stomach a lot. So one of the ways that they train is not by eating like mass hot dogs. They'll eat a ton of grapes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you would have to train on another food, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is probably why they dunk the hot dogs in water, too. I know that's to, get them down, but...
Well, that's just to take the
coefficient of friction out?
That, and also just make the bread not take up as much room.
Yeah. He hit the world record in 2021 when he ate 76 franks and buns in 10 minutes. This says the #2 is a guy named Jeffrey Esper. He finished second last year, always a bridesmaid. He ate 49 hot dogs, which was 13 fewer than Joey Chestnut. And so the people associated with Major League Eating are, quote, devastated. This is the guy's quote. It would be like Michael Jordan saying, I'm going to rep Nike and Adidas. It just can't happen. Well, there you go. So the competitive eating world, in a very Highlander-type situation here with Joey Chestnut. What I love are the still shots. You'll never see a still shot of a competitive eater where they look happy. They always look like they're in immense pain because to some degree they probably are. But there's a lot of money on the line, so you get it. But, when these people do these championships, they're like, ugh, this is my life. I'm in Major League Eating.
Hey, man, if you're making millions of dollars at it, you're doing okay.
Sure, yeah.
If you're being referred to as the Michael Jordan of Major League Eating.
Major League Eating. Yeah. You still
they
doing
get this guy shoes, but they're like the diabetic kind, the black Velcro ones.
Orthopedic, giant, extra wide.
He's got the compression socks as his endorsement.
Do you still do Chipotle commercials?
I haven't in a minute, but I do, technically.
Their CEO is getting a lot of eye rolls from people. Did you read the story about the CEO of Chipotle?
No.
He's not a bad-looking guy, a dude named Brian Nichol. He is the CEO of Chipotle. And he did an interview with Fortune magazine. And, of course, they were bringing him, mentioning people's complaints because Chipotle has kind of not fallen on hard times, but they're not nearly as white-hot as they once were. And so different people have different explanations for that. And anecdotally, a lot of people complain that somehow the portions have gotten smaller. That shouldn't shock anybody. Of course, they push back and they go, absolutely not. But we all know that we're paying the same or more for less. So it's not a huge leap. But this guy wanted to dispel that notion. And he said, listen, usually all you've got to do to get a little more food or a little extra scoop is just give our employees a look.
What? Give them the eyes?
Yeah. He said, most people can get an extra scoop by giving the employees a disappointed look. And people are like, are you insane? I mean, when the CEO walks in, he doesn't have to worry about anything. A disappointed look. First of all, try getting eye contact with the person there. It's not their fault. It's an assembly line. They're just putting stuff on the plate or in the bowl, right? And nowadays, we've all seen plenty of video. Employees are terrified someone's going to jump them because they didn't get enough corn or whatever. That somebody's going to leap over the glass. So it's probably just a defense mechanism that people who work in the service industry in like fast food joints or places like this, they're trying to minimize eye contact with people. They're trying to minimize communication. You just tell them what you want. So everybody was dunking on this guy for saying that if you give them a and what is a disappointed look? Because everybody's got a different one of those too. I've gotten a lot of disappointed looks from people. Story of my life. I don't know what my disappointed look is, and they might misread me. My disappointed look to the person behind the glass making my food, I might to them look inappropriately horny.
Those are the cheese eyes.
I don't know. And so I don't want them to get the wrong impression. But this guy really brushed off those complaints by going, it's okay. You give him so anyway, if you're one of those people who goes there a lot to Chipotle and you've got a similar complaint, give the disappointed look. And if it doesn't work, then write the CEO. Go, hey, I tried that look thing. Didn't work for me.
Didn't work. I ordered ahead, but still didn't work.
But I always think of the people who are back there working.
Just give them the Tim Robinson.
I always think of the people who are back there working. It's like I said, they're worried about getting jumped. People are filming them all the time now. And look what they put in my burrito. Look at this. I'm like, I'm just trying to.
That's what I've heard the hack is to film them making your burrito, and then they tend to give you more if you're filming while they're making it.
Right, but then you're going to get yelled at.
By who?
By your boss, because they're telling you not to give people a ton. I know what they say, but they're trying to stretch out what they've got. That's what every business is doing, right? Charge them, give them as little as you possibly can. And these people don't want to get filmed. Well, the guy was filming me. I had to give him 3 free scoops. Well, ask him, tell him not to film you. Yeah, that always works. So, yeah, people were, tweeting at the guy, hey, I did that head nod. I got even less food. Because they're just, that's not going to be good.
This guy keeps looking at me weird.
Yeah. Can we just get him out of here quickly? So, yeah, these people, half the time, somebody comes in threatening to, stab them or punch them because they don't think they got enough salsa. Or something stupid like that. I don't know.
I don't know if they're getting threatened half the time.
You don't think 50% of the time?
I don't think 50% of the time someone's getting threatened to be stabbed.
You see a line of people waiting. You see a line of people waiting. I'm telling you. Let's say there's 20 people.
Half of them.
10, yes.
10 or
a full 10.
Yep. 10 are pulling out knives.
Yes.
No.
Yes. I stood there and I saw.
Maybe at the Bay Village one where you go.
Well, yeah.
We
don't F around.
Yeah,
we don't screw around. My Swiss Army knife comes out immediately as soon as I walk in because I don't know which 10 I'm going to be. And I got to be with my team.
You're like, it's only been 9.
I walk in, I go, God. I go right into my pocket.
Threaten the employees.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a little bit of food news for you. Hey, if you like the band Ghost, they are screening their film debut. It's called Right Here, Right Now, and we're going to do some screenings of that. So if you dig those guys, I'll have a couple of tickets for you coming back.
It's the Alan Cox Show. Everywhere.